Cool. Can you hear me? Is my level good?
You good, man. You good. And we are live. Family, friends tuning in live. Welcome to Night Traxx Radio on a fantastic Friday afternoon. And today's artist spotlight, singer, songwriter, producer, crooner extraordinaire. Lord have mercy. The one and only Mr. Noel Gourdin is joining us today. New album, long overdue. Back to Basics. Vol.1. Brother, thank you so much for joining us, because the last time I had you on the show, honestly, I can't believe it's a little bit over a year ago. And I remember one of the things that you really truly expressed to me, and a lot of the people that support you and love your music, said you want to bring something special. And man, you absolutely did it. 11 tracks, a kaleidoscope of soulful music featuring Kevin Ross on one of my favorite tracks on the entire album. And I wanted to ask you, because I know personally that you are a perfectionist. So yes. I wanted to find out from your personal perspective on finishing this baby. Did you leave any meat on the bone? Are you completely satisfied?
I have to say, first and foremost, I appreciate you for having me. It's so good to be here, man. It's good to be back with you and chatting and chewing the fat. And
Absolutely.
but I have to say, I am completely happy with it. But with me being a perfectionist, is still some fat on the meat there, and it's all good though. I'm gonna be in today's market. You have to continuously put out music and let people know that you still at it and you working, and you putting it to it. So yeah, it's all good, man. I got music. I still got music in the can that I wanted to have on this project, but it's all good. I'm still working.
Yeah.
And pretty much already have 7 or 8 records already in the can that I just got to put some toppings on. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, I'm very happy with it. I, as you said, I am a perfectionist, and it was right up to the last minute. Believe me when I say that I was still wanting to tweak things, and everybody else was just like, you know what, dog, you just gotta just let it float. You gotta let it fly the coop.
One of the things that I love about the entire album is that you have managed to balance between rawness and still keep that smooth texture in the music. And also, the one thing that I have also noticed too, that it's completely different from your previous projects, is that you have allowed us to get more of a peek on who you are from a personal perspective. I can see the amount of love and encouragement that your family has brought to you, and that you have managed, which can be challenging because you don't let too much of yourself out in the public eye, but you were able to incorporate a lot of your personal experiences in this music. And I wanted to ask you, I know a lot of the listeners would like to know, how long did it take you to get somewhat more comfortable to let people in a little bit more, get a little bit more piece of you?
Yeah. Well, being where I came from and my kind of hiatus from the industry and losing my pops and all of that kind of stuff, I was vulnerable at that time. So I wanted to allow myself to be vulnerable in certain ways and just bare myself. And these were like the first pieces of music that I did after climbing out of that hole and being down for quite a few years. And dealing with that loss. So I wanted to just be able to get back to the basics in a sense, and just have fun with it again and fall back in love with my craft and what God has blessed me to do, and just to try to have fun and do some records that were a little bit out of, my comfort zone, something that I really haven't put on any of my projects, the sounds and the different feels, but it's still me. And the denominator throughout these records are still Noel. You know what I'm saying? So it feels good in that sense, and that I was able to step outside of what I'm used to, and my other records and my other albums in the past, the sound. So sonically, it still feels great. It feels like Noel, but it is some different feels, which is good. I want to show my versatility, and I can do other, types of fields and other types of records, not just what I've done in the past and what
Right.
people are used to hearing me do. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. I remember an interview that you did almost 10 years ago, and I'm really dating myself a little bit. I'm really dating myself. The part of the conversation that really stuck to me where you said, I have to constantly find ways to challenge myself.
Yeah.
Without the challenge, there's no gratification. If there's no gratification, there's no need for me to do that because everything is based on passion and love.
Mhm.
Do you feel like that you have found that passion or rediscovered that passion and love for music?
Oh, absolutely. Because as an artist, I've been in this industry for 20 years now,
Yeah.
and you have to find a way, you kind of build up a callus in this industry. And I am able to take constructive criticism. And if somebody gets into a rut, it's like when an artist is kind of like this too much, you tend to sound, every record tends to sound the same. And I did not want
Right.
that to be the case. I didn't want anything to be samey with me across the span of or the scope of a whole project. So it is good to be able to, get a refresher in a sense. And I lean on the people that I trust. I give it to some of the people that I worked with on the project as far as writing: Canita Rogers, Lorenzo Johnson, Marquis Green, Frank Sekay Oliphant, Ced Solo, Boss Brody. Just being able to reach out and say, what do you think about this? How's it feel? Does it have legs? Or what I mean? Is it samey, or does it not have a certain feel? So I'm not afraid to reach out, and that, I think that's just me as an artist trying to grow a little bit more and more and learn more, and listening and doing my research and all of that kind of stuff. But it's gotta feel good to me, which the all these records did, and I got the trust of people's ears that I trust, and saying that either this works or this doesn't work, or it's samey, or you need to, what I mean, kind of
Right.
go in this direction. So me as an artist being able to let go and get some outside advice, which is better for me as an artist to be able to grow and expand.
One of the things I want to kind of turn back the volume on the knob a little bit. You mentioned a very important word: trust.
Hmm.
Trust.
Absolutely.
Trust in the music industry, in the music business, is a very, I would have to say, a very Jekyll and Hyde type of
Yeah.
persona. So how long does it take you to get to a point where you can actually trust someone as far as their judgment
Hmm.
on what you feel would be a record or a song would be advantageous to really promote? Because again, when you started, social media is nowhere near the way it is
Yeah.
today. And now
Yeah.
artists are using social media to promote everything and anything that they do. And also, I want to touch on a little bit more meat on the potato, as far as meat on the bone, a little bit.
Hmm.
How important or how imperative is it to have a producer that you trust, that truly understands you as an
Hmm.
artist and also has the ability to bring out the best in you?
Yeah. Well, my TKC, my tight knit crew, it's not that big, and these guys have, they they kind of suffer me in a sense, because I'm
Okay.
always coming up with ideas. I'm always dropping voice recorded ideas to
Right.
Lorenzo and Canita, and they kind of suffer me in a sense. Like,
Okay.
did you get this? Make sure let me know that you got this and you're working on this, and but they we've been together for for some years now.
Okay.
Canita and I over 10 years, and Marquis as well. Lorenzo about 3 or 4. So we've gotten to know each other, and the reason why I trust them is because I know from their catalog and listening to what they've done, artists that they've worked with, and their product that they put out on themselves is just second to none. So that's how they earned my trust, and likewise, and I've earned their trust because they know that um I just have a lot of integrity with what I do, and they have the same with their projects. So that's the reason why they earned my trust, and being able to let go sometimes and let them take the wheel. And it's refreshing. It feels good. It's not all on my shoulders. It's not, I don't have to atlas it every time.
Right.
So but yeah, it can be tough sometimes. And but it's all about the growth process, and being not having to do everything, and being able to relieve some of the pressure off of you, and let some other geniuses, like I said, take the wheel. So it can be tough as an artist. We're perfectionists, and we're very emotional about our stuff. But yeah, sometimes you got to let go of the wheel, and just trust in the folks that you have around you.
Without question, you have been through and experienced so much in this industry. And I know a lot of times, just like all of us being humans and mere mortals, our faith is constantly tested, where you look back, why am I going through this?
Hmm.
Why am I experiencing this at this point in my life? How much has music played as far as being a muse to
Hmm.
you, as far as on the creative process?
It's huge. It's not just, it's life. It's like you said, a
Right.
lot of things that's happened. The tumultuous times, the fun times, the happy times, the joyous, all of it together is what makes music wonderful.
Right.
uh whatever mood you're in, music, you can find something to counteract, or to go along with, and heighten and heighten those emotions. So it helps me in a sense, and especially the music that my pops introduced to me when I was little, all the old soul music and all of that kind of stuff. And then I got the hip hop feels from my brother, and then New Jack Swing, and then I got the folky sounds from some other friends and all of that kind of stuff. So I have an amalgam of music and sounds, and passions that I've heard and along the way, and artists and all of that kind of stuff that I've kind of put into my head and my heart and my soul, that kind of makes me, on the whole. So it's just it's everything. It's the inspirations, and the driving force behind what I do. It's just trying to absorb everything I can, and put something down that makes people feel something.
Without question. And I mean, it resonates through the entire album, which currently, family, the album is available as we speak on all major outlets. But make sure you let your fingers do the walking, head over to Apple Music and be sure to get this fantastic album. And I wanted to ask you, music and radio airplay has changed
Yes.
I mean, really, really dramatically. We can look, we can just be completely honest and be completely transparent. Is
Hmm.
that what I've seen over the years? Is that you have a lot of British artists that sing soul music, and they come over here,
Hmm.
and the amount of airplay that they receive
Yeah.
is incredible.
Hmm.
But then I notice our artists of color, our black artists,
Hmm.
that they get more airplay and more love over in London
Hmm.
than they do here in the
Yeah.
United States. And I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, what is your thought process on possibly heading over to the
Hmm.
UK and
Yeah.
performing? Because they've always had a love affair with
Oh,
R&B music.
absolutely. They are in tune. And I have been over there. I've been over there. We've done some shows with Teacher Moses and some other artists and all of that kind of stuff. I have been over there to London and Birmingham, and done a trip. And yeah, they're with you
Yeah,
every step of the way. When you're on stage,
absolutely.
they are in your mouth. And they're so in tune. They have an appreciation for this music that I think, in some part, they've kind of lost over here.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but they have a tremendous amount of appreciation for the artists that do this music, and do it with so much integrity, and they just love it. I think it needs to kind of spill over here. um but the artists are great. The artists, honestly, and like you spoke about social media, it is in a sense helping in that sense to be able to kind of bridge a gap. You know, in we see a lot of those performances and all of that kind of stuff over there, and they are in tuned with these artists to such a degree that we've kind of lost over here with certain kinds of musics and artists and the appreciation and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I hope some of that can spill over here. But yeah, we have plans to go back over there and spend hopefully about a week or so and just really wring it out as much as we can and kind of bring that love back, man, because yeah, I love it. Whenever I go over there, they are just so welcoming, and they roll out the welcome carpet, and they really do appreciate artists like myself, and hopefully we can get back to that over here, because a lot of the artists, these indie artists that are putting down soul and real music, you know, we need to have that kind of spill over here.
Without question, I remember a very good friend of mine who passed away a few years ago, Bobby Caldwell. And a lot of the conversations we would talk, he said, Teddy Bear, he said, when I go over to Japan to perform, they treat me like a king. They treat me
king.
Absolutely. And we've had this conversation. I said, me personally, I feel that we have become so spoiled and become so enamored with quote unquote microwavable music. Nothing with substance, not a lot of meat on the bone. No, we're not talking about caviar. We're talking about Taco Bell kind of music. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. This is what we're doing. And it is taken away from the pure essence of what musicianship means, the craft of creating something that was so magical. There was a time when an artist created something and he would have to go and conduct interviews and go city to city, state to state to do these interviews on various radio stations. Now it's become so easily now where you can have an interviewer that's in London or in Japan, and they can sit up here and speak to this person, and you can sit up and promote your music all over the world. It's become so much easier. And I want to ask you, I know that you love performing, but what do you get the greatest gratification from? Performing or the creative process working in the studio?
Yeah. I love the creative process, man. It's just, you know, and now especially with the help, and shout out to my man Mike City. He always said, Noel, you don't need to be going to no big studios, man. You get yourself a mic, you know, an audio interface, and you're good. He was like, you just find a good spot to make some music. And now that I got that, Teddy Bear, being able to go in at any time, my fiance is asleep, I get up and go to the studio, you know, into the closet. We got thankfully we got a good sized closet where it's not boxy or anything, and I just get in there and just be creative until I want to, you know what I mean? And that is instant gratification, man, because I can sit at the mic, and before you was on the clock, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're looking at the clock, and that kind of hinders your creation, you know, your creativity. Right. And now that I'm able to just go in there, don't need my watch, you know what I mean, and just be creative, man. That is so, it's such an amazing thing to be able to do, is just be in there and stay in front of the mic and be creative. And a lot of times I don't even write, man. It's just feeling it and coming back and working it and molding it and taking the time to do so. So that's what I was able to do on this album, on Back to Basics. And I would have to say creating, but I do love being on stage and connecting with the folks. And but I would have to say the creation process is that's I love it. You know what I mean?
How many times have you actually laid in the bed 1 o'clock in the morning and something just hits you and say, you know what, I gotta go. I got something on my mind. I need to just get up.
Can't even count. It's too many times. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all over the place, man. Like, it'll be in the bed, I'll wake up with an idea, I'll put it down on voice recorder, and you know, I can be driving. I do a lot of my best writing I do while driving.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Just come up and I have my voice recorder. I'm always ready with the voice recorder to lay down an idea and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, short the little pieces of paper all over the place. That's just the way it be. Envelopes, back of envelopes, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Napkins, honestly. Yep. I can be out, me and my fiance out somewhere. I'm walking. I got to grab a napkin or something. I've written things down on all kinds of pieces of parchments, not necessarily just paper. But yeah, it's just the way it is, man. You don't want to lose something when you get an idea. And too many times I've lost things and I can't get it back. So you got to capture that magic when it comes out. But yeah, man, it's just I love the creative process.
Now, you just mentioned having a fiance.
Mm-hmm.
How has that affected your life as far as musically and personally? Has it given you an opportunity to see things in a different aspect?
Absolutely. Just caring for somebody in such a way that it opens up a whole new objective and perspective that I can, look through her eyes and kind of write something different than just my own perspective. So it's given me a whole new, outlook on how to artist and how to be an artist and different things to write about and to feel, loving somebody in such a way and caring for somebody in such a way. So, I'm thankful that she's given me a renewed, outlook on being an artist and feeling things and putting it down and conveying it through a microphone and putting it down. And yeah, man. So it's given me some more things to write about and love and feelings, and so I'm grateful.
I asked that because I can sense it through the entire album, and it takes me back to that late great American poet Teddy Pendergrass's song "I Miss You." He said, "I love you more than I love myself." Lord,
yeah, that's something special. That's something special. You got to love somebody a lot. Yeah. Now talking about tone and all of that and just emotion that he's able to display, those old records and the way they felt, I think it's still unparalleled today. That music, the groups of the 70s, 60s, and 50s, that's what I was brought up on. The Brooke Bentons and the Jerry Butlers and the Tyrone Davis and all the old Blue Magic and, like you spoke about Teddy and all of those guys. That music is unparalleled. It will never be another genre or period of music or soul music that could recreate the feelings that they gave me as a child. They made me want to do what I'm doing now. And try to get that gratification that their music gave me as a child. So that's what I try to do. That's my mission and what I'm doing. I'm trying to make people feel things the way they made me feel as a child and growing up and all throughout these years and all throughout my life. That feeling that those oldies but goodies, what my pop used to call them, what that music made me feel, I try to give other folks that feeling through my music.
You know what? You have such an aura that reminds me so much of Otis Redding.
Yeah.
The amount of passion that he put in his music, especially in his live performances when we talk about songs. I Have Dreams to Remember. When you hear things like that, then I listen to your music. It invokes so much passion, so much love, and you give so much of yourself in a live performance. How long does it take you to come down from that when you exude so much emotion and passion from your music?
Yeah. Well, I be spent after a performance. You know what I mean? It takes a little while to come down. It's just like working out, man. You got to cool down. You know what I mean? I do give my all in my performances, as well as when I'm recording. I give it all I got. Sometimes if I exude too much energy, I can't record another day or two afterwards because I be so spent in you know, my voice. I got to give it time to rest and heal my cords. So yeah, I try to give my all, man. I always think I watch some performers and it doesn't look like they break a sweat and all of that kind of stuff, and I never wanted to be that person. You know what I mean? I never wanted to be the person that doesn't give it up for the people that paid to be there. So I think we owe it to them, that because it's a big thing, man, to, you know, especially in today's climate and the way, you know, how things are so expensive, and you gotta appreciate when people put up money to come and see you, or money to purchase a project, or, you know, give up their hard-earned cash to kind of get a piece of you. So that's what I try to give them. I want people to leave shows knowing a little bit more about me than they knew when they were coming in, you know? So that's always been my thing with performances. I want to give them a piece of me and leave it all out there.
Well, brother, I can tell you have definitely enlightened us with a lot of verbal penetration with this new album, of course, Back to Basics, Volume 1. And I wanted to ask you, man, you got connected with another very talented brother, Kevin Ross. How did that come to be? Because you killed it on this song. You really boy, you guys did a wonderful job.
Thank you, man. My man Sekay, Frank Oliphant, we had worked together from the very beginning on the River, on my first album after my time. And he had hit me up and said he had an idea for this record. And I really thought that the concept was just so dope, man, because it's kind of a reversal of roles. And I thought it didn't take itself too serious. It was a fun. I kind of seen it as a you know, a clip from a movie, something, you know, almost like the Wood or the Brothers or something like that, where you're coming up and you have, it's just a fun evening out. And I just thought it was dope, man. And yeah, he had the idea. He was like, yo, should we hit up Kevin Ross? I was like, yeah, hit him up. Because I worked with Kevin on my second album, Fresh to Definition. We did 3 or 4 records on that album. And you know, we had talked a little bit in between some years and all of that kind of stuff, but it was really cool to be able to get him on this. And we, just like when we worked on the album on Fresh, we just have a really good chemistry. We're able to work with each other really easily, and it's no struggle at all. Some artists, you know, it's like trying to get that wrench and you know what I mean, and sometimes it doesn't quite work. But with Kevin and I, we were able to work really easily, and it was like butter, man. So yeah, shout out to Kevin Ross, man. It came together in such a incredible way. You know, it's seldom that you really have a piece of your content come out better than you even envisioned it, and this had that you know, that aura with it. This record, it was just so easy and came together really, really well. So shout out to Ced Solo on the production on that record, and Boss Brody. And
well, sonically, it sounds wonderful, and both of you guys' vocals, man, are incredible. As you said, a lot of times you can have the best intentions, but if it don't mesh, it don't mesh. Yeah. And this, it fit like a hand in glove. I mean, there's no need to acquit because it fit, brother. Yes, Lord. Yes,
yes, indeed. I like that. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it came together, man.
So far be it for me to rob the family of some Blueprint music. We're going to get into it. One of the many soulful songs, soulful tracks from this incredible new album, of course, Back to Basics, from the incredible and super talented Noel, Gourdin, of course, with his new hit single from this album. It's called what? Let me call it Let Me Hit It. Might let you hit it. Yeah. Might let you hit it. Yes, Lord, featuring Kevin Ross here on Night Traxx Radio. Let's get into it.
Bought a 3-pack Told me meet up with you. Told the valet to look out cause I'm on my way. I'll be in the old school Chevrolet. Ooh, the drop top dice hanging in the rear view. Blue antique plates on the old school. For my conversation. Told me hurry baby, don't give me eat and play your cards right. Games right.
My apology, family. We had some technical difficulties, but again, this is one of the many fantastic tracks from the new album, Might Let You Hit It, of course, with Noel, Gourdin, featuring Kevin Ross. It is available as we speak on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, you can always head over to Amazon.com. And to get the latest updates, make sure you stop by Noel's official website. That's www.noelgourdinmusic.com. Brother, I gotta ask you, man, when are you coming to Houston to perform, man?
Man, as soon as I'm summoned, I always say that too. You know, as soon as I'm summoned to come and perform, man, I'm gonna be there. I love Houston as well. I have a lot of folks out there, so yeah, I love the scene in Houston. But as soon as somebody reaches out to me to book noelgourdin.com, I'm gonna be there, man.
I hope so, man. Now, gotta ask before I let you shake the spot, so to speak.
Yeah.
Can we expect anything as far as the album? Or can we expect this being put on vinyl? Will it ever be available on vinyl?
Man, you know, I was just about to do a video, a post later on today and ask folks if they really want, because, you know, I think that's something that the industry actually has lost is physical copies and all of that kind of stuff. I love physicals. So I would love to be able to do even CDs, man, because I think people still have, you know, the ability to play CDs and all of that kind of stuff. I know that they have some new turntables, some devices, you know, that they have turntable, they have CD, you know, compact disc players, and they got tape players on the joints. Yeah. So I think a lot of people, not only from just the collection standpoint, you know, I just think a lot of people still would want physicals. and you know, physical copies and all that kind of stuff. So we do have plans to do that and put it on vinyl, as well as getting some CDs. It'll probably be from you know, when people kind of ask for it and you know, request you know, copies and all of that kind of stuff. But yes, we do plan on getting some physical copies of the album and being able to get them out in the marketplace, or even, you know, upon order, you know, and we can ship them out and all of that kind of stuff. Definitely at shows and all of that. So also some apparel and all of that kind of stuff. So we're working on all of that. That's
definitely needed, man. And I tell you, when it's ready, like grandma's cookie, man, send it over here. Actually, matter of fact, I'll buy 10 copies of the album to make sure I give them away as gifts to the many listeners and many supporters who have shown nothing but love. And I just wanted to tell you, man, I have so much deep respect for you, because regardless of what you've been through and what you've experienced in this industry, you have stood 10 toes down. You have never allowed it to shake your integrity. You have never allowed it to misconstrued your character, your love for your music. It shines through, especially, again, family, the new album, Back to Basics Volume 1. Get it. It is available as we speak. This is your home. Whatever you need, please don't hesitate to tell the teddy bear, we got you, man. And one way or another, man, we're going to get you down here to Houston. I don't care what we got to do, planes, trains, automobile. If you got to take a camera, we're going to get you down here, man.
I appreciate it, Teddy Bear, man. Thank you so much for giving artists like me an outlet, man, and somewhere to be and feel at home. I really appreciate it, man, and all the support that you've given me over the years. I really appreciate it. And yeah, everybody, please check out my album, Back to Basics Volume 1. Check me out on my socials, on Instagram, and you know, on X is at Noel Gourdin, NoelGourdin. On Facebook, it's The Real Noel Gourdin, as well as on TikTok, The Real Noel Gourdin. So check me out. I love to interact with y'all. I really appreciate the love, and thank you, man. Thank you.
Oh, man, it's all love. Hey, you know what? Before I let you boogie, man, I got to ask you, man, do you think somewhere in the near future we'll actually get a gospel album from you?
I don't know about that. I think there's some I'm not gonna say, you know, religion all over the place, but there's definitely spirituality that I put in almost everything that I do. Yeah, as far as that, maybe not, you know, in the immediate future. I do have something cooking with like some Southern soul stuff. I'm doing something to dip my toe in the Southern soul genre. I actually got something that in the trail ride type of feel right now that I'm cooking up with another artist that people are gonna really recognize, and we got something cooking and maybe some line dance stuff that we're gonna try to, you know, fit in there this summer and make folks line their shoulders up and dance. You know what I mean? Kick up some dust.
Beautiful,
so yeah, we're feeling good about it, and you know, but you never know. I could come out with anything at any point. Now I can head to the big closet and throw some stuff down. You know what I'm saying? So you'll never know. You never know.
That's beautiful. Hey, as long as it's spiritual, hey, at the end of the day, we want R&B music shaken but never stirred, man. Keep it soulful. Yes, Lord. Thank you, brother, for joining us and honoring us today. Again, whatever you need, don't hesitate to let us know. The one and only Mr. Noel Gourdin joining us today. And be sure, family, to get the new album, of course, Back to Basics Volume 1. It is available as we speak, again, on Apple Music, Amazon.com, Google Play, Spotify. It is there. Cop some real soul music. It has definitely been a beautiful experience. And also, family, just to let you know, for those who missed the video or missed the interview, no need to worry. We got you completely covered. Be sure to stop by our YouTube channel. That's at Traxx Radio Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to us, and you can see the entire interview in its entirety. But if you want to listen to just straight audio, we got you covered too on Traxx Radio Podcast, or Traxx Radio Podcast on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple. We're also there, and also on Deezer as well. I want to thank you for tuning in and allowing the teddy bear to help you tune out all the negative energy. We're dealing with nothing but love and always positive love. Yes, Lord. We'll be back on the air Monday, June the 30th. Lord have mercy. The one and only Carvin Winans is joining us. New album, Cool Gospel. Yes, Lord. So in the meantime, I want everyone to have a very therapeutic, wonderful weekend. Stay positive. And as always, keep it soulful here on Night Traxx Radio. God bless.